here goes. Everybody get ready, because now is the time. Test. Okay, we're good. Here we go. It starts in... Wrong tab. Hold on. There we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello, listeners and viewers, and welcome back to There Will Be Dungeons at therewillbedungeons.com. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz, John Jagger, Kyle, and Kristen Ferguson, or Kristen Ashton sometimes. Just depends. She's a very independent woman, and I like to call her Kristen, or K for short. I don't know why I'm saying any of that. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. It's great to be back. We got dungeons to run and stuff to do, and we're pretty stoked about it. Did I say John Jagger? I think I did. Did I say your name? All right.
We'll say yeah.
We had some weird technical issues, but also I'm kind of excited. So we're about to get to something I want to play that I've been very excited about that a listener sent to us. His name is Alex, and it's really rad. So I'm going to play it. But before I do that, a reminder that this entire endeavor is brought to you on the backs of yourselves. If you like this thing, go on over to therewillbedungeons.com and click on our support link and help us out. There are rad levels in there, including artwork you can't get anywhere else on a monthly basis and other digital rewards. So please head on over there and support us at therewillbedungeons.com. Okay, now, Alex sent in a file via email that I'm not sure he knew I was going to play it or not on the show, but I can't help it because it's rad. Let's just say it's in loving memory of a recent character that may not be with us anymore. So here is Alex's ode to the Cyclops we know as Orp. Here you go.
Goodbye, giant Orp. I'm going to miss you saying "Whoop," and your love for magics. I guess we didn't know you that well. Even when you died, all Stanley had to say was remember that one time when Nash touched Orp in the nude. And it seems to me you lived your life like a cyclops in the sands, never knowing what to chew on except the brains of man's. And I would have liked to know you, but this is D&D, a fantasy. But oh, my friend, you'll always be real to me. You'll always be real to me, Orp. Oh yeah.
Yes!
Isn't that great?
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there more?
That's it. It fades out from there. It's pretty awesome though,
Beautiful.
right? Yeah. Alex, I can't thank you enough for that. Y'all are encouraged anytime you get a wild hair up your butts about something funny like this to send it in. We are happy to play it and bravo it and thumb
I
up
give you
it.
Inspiration. Hopefully your next roll is good.
There you go. Anyway,
It's amazing.
too good not to share. Chat room seems to have enjoyed it as well. So thank you again, Alex. And if you'd like to send your own messages in like that, be like Alex and go to the website. It's easy to do. Just go over to therewillbedungeons.com. All right.
I love D&D.
D&D is great.
Tedna, good guy, died helping the party.
Yeah, we should get a Tedna song. We should get a.
Nope, we won't. We won't. Orp, literally the worst.
Yeah. we should get a George song, a George Miller song. That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
All right.
He doesn't eat mans.
Just Orp.
What inspires our listeners is the eating of mans.
All right, and testicle journeys or whatever we did there. All right, so there you go. Please share your talents with us. We would love it. Before we continue, we like to throw the mic over to Kristen, who has lovingly...
it's tea club.
Tea time. Sorry, Bo's got tea. Bo.
Tea club. I'm trying Firebolt today.
Oh, it's all backwards
Meow, meow,
English.
meow.
You can't read it. That's fine, though.
That's its magic land. So I'm going to pour it and I'm going to taste it.
Okay, go for it. Let's see what you got.
Because maybe it won't be good. Maybe we actually have a tea that, we shouldn't be selling because it doesn't taste good. I haven't tasted them all yet.
Yeah, by the
We
way,
have to find out. We have to make sure.
you can also find these at the same...
rolling Not from shade.
Each week.
I'm not throwing shade at Phoenix Pearl Tea. It's just that, we like to try it. So I'm going to... Right now.
All right, see what you got. Do you like it?
Whoa! Oh my god.
Yeah?
It's good. It
Yeah?
tastes like a cinnamon heart tea.
Oh yeah, that one's
It's
one of
the
my favorites.
Firebolt.
Yeah, Firebolt's one of my favorites. That's a lot like Firebolt. Or is it
Okay,
Fireball? Is that literally Fireball? You may have said.
It's the flavor called Nash Magarad's Fireball.
Oh, yeah.
This is what your Fireball tastes like?
It's really good. It's a can.
Well-
Instead of a cantrip, it's a can drip.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get it? Because cantrip.
Yeah.
I probably don't have to explain it. Well, all right there. You go, Bo. Well done.
Phoenix Pearl Tea.
Yeah,
Go
that's
order
right.
yours.
PhoenixPearlTea.com/TWBD, or you can find it on our site. All right. Now, for real, because we don't go do the show without it, Kristen has prepared this recap of last week. Kristen, take it away.
All right, last time on There Will Be Dungeons. Omnom's outcry overwhelmed. Numerous Nashes, time travel. Reality was remarkably ridiculous. Beyond believable by anybody in the boudoir, save for the sick man's sidekicks. Case concluded, the only lizard left to lecture was Zershel. However, she refused to remark to any but Varel. She proclaimed her plan to prehend power and land the lizardman. Varel concluded the case, no cutthroat confirmed, but Dolopopio stigmatized at Stanley's speculation. To the event hall they went, where Vorel whipped his world for weakness and worthlessness and worshipping such a waste of a waif. Nash and Stanley magically mesmerized Orp as Varel continued to convey his clear contempt of complacency. Figuring the final frontier had been forded, Hope tendered her trick, but refused to reveal it until the room was rid of reptiles. The lizards lingered, and Miriam concluded corruption, gathering the guards to prevent pollution of the party. Infuriated at the insinuation, Varel vaulted into Orb, springing a surprise scaling. Stanley expressed eloquently, daring to dissuade the defenders, but the dire din dropped on deaf drums. Surrounded and suddenly succumbing to stabs, Hope hopped for a Halcyon hit, alloy arm altering to release a rocket toward the riled reptile's rampage, tearing the two tanks from the tower as ruin reigned on the remaining rabble. Varel and Orp fought ferociously. Both badly bruised, Varel brought forth a bevy of blows before being bridled by the breaking bonds of the Cyclops' claws. Nearly nixed, Varel vaunted all his valor and shot his shield into the savage's sclera, killing the Colossus. As Varel dusted away the dirt of the downed demon, lizard folk who had watched in waiting took up together and trilled out the title of their new Great Fang. Now rejoin our heroes as they revel in the accomplishment of ace to arbitration. Will any challenge Varel for the throne? Are there any lizards left to oppose him? And what will Omnom have to say about all of this? Stay tuned for today's adventure in the wide world of the Wastes.
Oh, well done. All right, Bo. All right.
Varel. The dust clears, and you have ascended the body of Orp with the full intent of showing yourself to all of Razak Val after having defeated the most recent Great Fang. Atop you stand, and as dust clears, you see lizard folk of every make and color, many tribes and clans. All have exited their caves and tents, and are tapping the ground with spears and implements that they may be holding in approval. Your eyes sweep out from left to right, taking in the faces, taking in the people, seeing that you've been witnessed. But then your immediate concern goes to your friends and what might have happened. And you see along the cave wall where Cave Fanger is housed, there's smoke. And there's a few silhouettes standing amongst the smoke, but likely the explosion has caused a lot of damage, and you just see smoke sort of billowing out from where that balcony is. Then your eyes drift over to the left, and you see there's another balcony. One floor up, to the left of where you can see you must have previously left your friends. You see Zershil standing at the edge of the balcony. You can see her guards come in and hand her Tyrant's Bane. You see another pair of guards come in and unfurl with great leathers and sticks and things made of bone. Whoosh, a hand glide as it opens up. Her guards set it up for her in front, and she takes a step forward. Then the guards lift up Tyrant's Bane and lodge it into her mouth, and she goes, "Ah!" And then she holds it by her mouth. She takes one hand, puts it on the hand glider, takes another hand, puts it on the hand glider, and jumps. And descending to your direction is Zersil on a hand glider, headed your way.
Man, they know how to do it here. That's awesome.
Now, do you want to take the opportunity to do anything, Varel, while this happens?
I assume I did not have an hour sitting atop this orb.
You did not.
All right. Well, I will stand as proudly as I can, or continue to do so, with my 1 hit point, and await her descent.
All right. Meanwhile, I should say erstwhile. Damn it, erstwhile.
We'll fix it in post. Don't worry, we got it.
In the balcony, Omnom has gestured to everyone, to his other lizard folk, to stop attacking. He has moved to the edge of the balcony. He has said, "It is done. Vorel has ascended to Great Fang." But the three of you notice that Zershil is flying up in the air in a hand glider, Tyrant's Bane in her jaw, descending towards Vorel's location. The room is filled with smoke, fire. There's like small fires where just, corpses are on fire. You see Yomi. You weren't introduced to Yomi, but there's a purple lizard folk holding Melisandre in her arms and has his head up to hers, sort of touching it. And there's like a twitching, a convulsion of what you imagine is lizard folk form of sobbing or crying or emotional pain. Behind you, you hear the guards shift sort of unsteadily, having stopped combat but unsure what to do and to make of the situation. Is there anything that you'd like to do? Oh, and by the way, the drummer who survived all of that turns back to his drum, begins. And that echoes out to you, Varel. You hear the drums resume from the balcony. Does anyone who's on the balcony like to do anything, or would they like me to continue?
Do you think she's gonna challenge him?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a fantastic mating ritual. We know little of these lizard people. Perhaps she will fly down and mount herself on his resilient penis.
Well done, well done.
I think we should go and just keep an eye on things. I'm going down there. Who else wants to go?
I'll
We're
go.
going to take the quick way.
I'll follow.
All right. All at once, we run to the balcony, wait for everybody, and the idea being we all jump off at the same time.
Yeah.
So everybody lines up, we all jump, wait till we're getting near the ground, and then I will feather fall on everyone.
So, hopes and agreement. Nash, are you jumping off?
Yeah, I'm going to go with.
Okay. All right. So, everyone just on the signal immediately recognizes it, jumps off the side, and Amnon goes, "Wait!" But it's too late. You've jumped off the side, and you cast Featherfall, and everyone, as you approach near the ground, just sort of float down. Okay, so just so that I'm aware of your intention, it sounds like you're going to head to the scene of the battle.
Yeah, I'm assuming, I saw Varel take a hit from a rocket. I'm sure he's not doing well. So my goal is to get within 60 feet of him and hit him with a powerful healing word.
Okay, and you're aware of the consequences of interfering?
I'm not, because I am but a man. And these are not my
I'm saying you, the player. Like, Your intent is to do this regardless, right? Like that's what I'm saying to you. John.
Yes, I'm going to help my friend.
Okay.
That's
right.
what's on Stanley's mind. The rest be damned.
You begin making your way towards the location. Ahead of you, you do see that there is a crowd that has formed alongside that you'll have to break your way through to get closer. We go back to Varel now. Varel, Zershil descends on the hand glider, but doesn't make it quite low enough in the first pass to reach the ground. So she swirls around in a big circle, flying over top all of the lizard folk of Razak Val in a big show on the hand glider. She circles around once, and then on the second pass, she's able to descend low enough to land also on top. Now, where on Orp are you standing?
I would have climbed on top of his head.
Okay,
And
so
as she makes her show, I will kind of sit down, a bit haggard, cross-legged, and take my fists and kind of put them on my knees, making this sort of M shape with my body.
Gotcha. Very cool. She swirls around a second time, and then as she gets close, she flies near his near Orp's belly button, and then just lets go and drops. It's a short drop, and the hang glider goes flying off into the distance, and she just drops down. Tyrant's Bane in her mouth. She takes her hand and takes it out, and then sets it down like that, and begins approaching you, walking up his chest. Along the treasure trail, as they call it.
Orp's hairy? I didn't know Orp was hairy.
What's that?
I didn't know Orp was hairy. I thought Orp was like a baby, like a fat baby.
I mean, I didn't really picture or specify whether or not he has an actual treasure trail. I just meant that it was that part of his body.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
I could have just said stomach.
Just realized I hadn't thought of it at all up till now.
Yeah, me neither.
And now our
I know I'm
minds
the
have
DM and I'm
expanded, and
supposed
we
to
are
know
the
these
better
things.
for it.
I know I'm supposed to know these things, but I don't. All right, so she walks towards you. Would you like to have the first word, Varel, or do you want to wait for her?
Does she look like she's, gaining speed, or?
She's walking slowly, purposely.
Okay.
Not rushed.
All right, well, I will continue my sitting pose as it gives me the best support without, bending over or looking weak.
Okay.
And I will give her a nod and say, "So, Zershil, you come for your fang as well."
As you begin speaking, she slows in her walk. She says, "You have done a great deed for the people of Razak Val. You have done a great deed for me and for everyone. Do you not have something you wish to say to the people of Razak Val? Do you not have a gift for your new fang?"
Oh, so she's doing the fang now, and gotcha.
She's prompting you to, bend your knee and say that you've killed in her name and that you award her with the power of Great Fang. As we discussed last week when you went to see her privately. She's given you the opportunity to do so. We'll let you think about that for a second. Stanley rushes towards the crowd of lizard folk trying to break through, and you see that there's a lot of them to get through. It's about 4 or 5 rows at the very least. There's a crowd ahead, and none of them are polite, so they don't move aside when they see you rushing forward at all. They're like big dumb lizards just standing there. So you'll have to push them to get through, or otherwise figure out a way through. All three.
Can I yell, "Move out of the way" with an intimidate?
I hope you have no more rockets to clear passages through the lizards.
Damn it.
Kaboom,
What's
kaboom,
the point?
Sorry, so I'll let Stanley decide if he wants to do anything first about this.
About how far away am I from them?
So the crowd forming around might be like a couple 100 feet out. They're not close by any stretch, but they're formed in a big, large circle. The main crowd that's closest. You have to break through the rows of people and then clear another couple 100 feet.
Well, I figure I'm small and lithe. Is it really a forceful push to get through, or can I kind of meander dodge my way through?
You can meander dodge your way through.
Okay.
You might want to be careful knocking any of them too hard.
Well, that's all right. I'm a lightweight. I'm not going to be able to hit him that hard anyway.
All right. So then let's make this it's not stealth. Let's say acrobatics. Yeah, it's acrobatic-y. It's like don't touch the lasers, basically. Except the lasers are lizard folk.
Okay.
Lasers.
That's not great, but I'm good at acrobatics, so it might be okay. It's a 17.
All right. So how do you not touch? How do you use acrobatics to not touch it? 17.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a succeed. So Stanley, not Stanley, Nash and Hope. You see, Stanley doesn't break a beat as he sort of sideways like slides through the lizard folk and starts dancing and just moving around little openings he can find and disappears into the massive lizard folk bodies.
I'm gonna hold back some. I don't want to cause too much.
Do you
of
have a
a
plan
ruckus.
to get through the lizard folk crowd, or do you just want?
Not really. I mean, that's the problem. Is I really don't have one.
Well, you saw that Stanley was sneaking through. It seemed like a good move.
So what? Just draft behind him. Sort
I
of.
mean, you can squeeze your way through. You are like rather thin as well. You have a lot of robes though, but
Yeah. I don't exactly blend in. I'll try to trail Stanley right behind him
okay. Acrobatics check.
with one hand gently on the small of his back.
He's too fast for that.
Sorry, acrobatics.
Nice try, though, Nash.
Let's make that a 12, if you please.
What did I set for a DC? Okay, you begin trying to also sneak your way through the bodies. And at one point, you bump somebody with your shoulder, and a lizard looks at you and goes, "What?" And then he pushes you, and then you get knocked into another lizard folk, and that lizard folk turns around and pushes you back, and now you're starting to get knocked around by lizard folk as they all bump you back and forth.
Man.
And they take it as an affront that you're knocking them around, and a little kerfuffle starts to begin where you are. Hope, you now see Nash sort of getting into trouble with lizard folk in front of you.
I'll continue with my original plan, but I'll do a persuade. Move out of the way.
Oh, you want to
for
yell
the
it?
great bang.
You
Yeah.
wanna- You want to sort of dominate your way through by like authoritatively telling them to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Intimidation, please.
Let's see. This would be a 13.
Okay. How easy is it to intimidate lizard folk? Yeah, you
also
start yelling, and one of the lizard folk goes, "Quiet, mewling, softling.
Ugh,
We are
God,
trying to watch the scaling."
Only they knew how many of their people you just murdered.
I know, right? But they weren't up there. So they have no idea. So I'll just start trying to push my way through. I won't acrobatics. I'll just do like a lizard shoulder through.
All right. As you try to start lizard shouldering your way through, Nash gets pushed into you, and you both get pushed out of the crowd.
God damn it.
Dude.
All right, back to Vorel. Have you made a decision? You look around the crowd. There's a crowd. The entirety of the population of Razak Val circled around. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Stanley gracefully sneak through the bodies as Nash gets pushed out into Hope. And yeah.
All right, I will get myself up and face Xerxil and say, I cannot stay here. I am called to greater lands. Not
She
let
doesn't
that hang.
respond. Then present your gift to me.
The gift is yours. The title may be yours. And then I'll turn out to the crowd. Keeping sideways, I want to make sure I don't like to back to her or anything like that. I am one with all lizard folk. And this world requires healing. I will protect every land for lizards. This land shall be home for all. And should the Fang, and I point at Zershel, disappoint me, I shall return. I will pound my fist in the air and use my prismatic scales froghemoth mutation to turn red and black. Am. Pound again, go green. 1. Pound again, black. With tiger stripes, all silver, purple lizard folk. And then I'll slam my fist down and drop back into my gold and stare right at her. And I am the force here.
Can you roll performance with advantage, please?
I can do that. 14.
Okay. Wow, your performance was stellar in terms of anything they've ever seen, because you're changing color in front of all lizard folk. Is that correct?
Correct.
Zershil, not missing a beat. Clearly, she's also flustered as she sort of steps forward and looks and sees that you've changed color, and she says to the crowd, "You hear what the great Vorel has said. Orp is my gift, and he fights for me as my champion. I am Great Fang. I will lead Razek Val to glory and freedom." And as she says this and lets that hang in the air, the lizard folk do not begin oohing or clacking anything. In fact, your read is that there is a overall rejection of this proposal from the people's temperament.
And our people are greater than one Fang. We shall spread our glory, regather the tribes here in Razak Val, and become the great people again. And I will oversee this.
And then you begin hearing woo, chant out 1,000 woos, all begin chanting out. And Zershil looks left, looks right. She goes, "What? No! Do not applaud him in that way!" And she begins looking desperately as the people appear to be celebrating you and not her. You hear a hiss come from her. "Very well." And then she grabs her spear. Or not her spear. She grabs Tyrant's Bane, clutches it strongly, and begins approaching you with purpose. The people have rejected they have rejected her, and now she is coming to attack you. She begins stepping forward towards you with purpose. "I am sorry, Vorel. I must do this, or they will not accept me." And she begins marching forward towards you.
You have received your title. You are a tool of mine. I cannot remain here. I cannot be these people's Fang. You can. I am called to greater means.
Okay. Stanley, you make your way through the crowd, and you sort of, as you slip through, you sort of stumble out, and you're now 10 or 20 feet in front of the lizard folk. And you look back and you see all these lizard folk in that area sort of looking at you like, "What are you doing, dude?" They all think their heads sort of turn. And what are you doing?
Oh boy, suddenly I feel very watched. So is it possible to hold my action until I see her about to strike, confirming that that's her intent, and then cast my spell?
Yep, you can ready a spell. As the only drawback to readying spells is that the spell slot is burnt. If the condition doesn't come up, it'll whittle, but you'll still lose the slot. That's the drawback.
That is fine. I would like to hold Healing Word at the 4th level.
Okay.
If she attacks Varel, and My thought is, just to give you the whole idea, is that if she goes to attack, eyes will go back up to watch this fight, and I might be able to get away with giving a healing word without being noticed. It's a verbal command only.
Verbal component only. Okay. Does the person necessarily have to hear it, I wonder? Okay.
Just says see within range, so I don't know if they have to hear it.
All right. So, do you want to hold it if damage is taken, or whether she attacks regardless? Just important to know, 'cause she might miss.
Just if she attacks, yeah. You can
If
have
she
the hit
attacks.
points regardless.
Okay. Very good. All right, Varel. She begins closing in on a distance for melee combat towards you. Is there anything else you'd like to do before this combat begins?
I will summon forth my shield, stand strong with what I got left,
All
and
right.
say, "You need not do this. I require strong servants."
All right. She approaches you, says, "The people favor you. The only way to bring them to my side is to have you killed. Your performance in honoring me was not convincing. You honored yourself." And she sort of takes her spear and poses and stance in front of you. Initiative rolls, please. For Stanley, I need you in the turn order as well.
Okay.
I mean,
Everyone else,
Hope and I are
you
still.
guys are out.
We're just ping ponging around in lizard ping pong.
Well, you got pushed out in the crowd, and you're pretty far away,
All right.
so you won't be able to make it in time to affect the combat.
17.
Okay.
13 for me.
She gets to go first. 13 for Stanley. 17 for Varel. Why don't you two give me initiative rolls just in case, anyways?
Okay.
Okay.
8.
Okay.
14.
Okay. 14 for Hope. All right. So her attack is first. Now she stands there. She's about 60 feet away from you. She stands. She takes Tyrant's Bane, puts it in both hands, and she stands in a ready position, holding her attack, and using the dodge action essentially to increase her AC. She stands there waiting for you to drive at her and not upon you. It is your turn, Varel. Her legs, like she walks sort of slowly in a strafing style.
Yeah.
Your injuries are visible to her as well. You know that strategically, so that she would have, if you were thinking about it, she would have the upper hand on you and be able to wait to counterattack anything you've done. Looks to be her strategy.
Definitely. All right. Well, I will spend my bonus action to Eye of Grosjean her
Okay.
and look for any vulnerabilities.
Okay, so you do find a vulnerability. It isn't to a damage type. She appears to have a small amount of limp on her left leg. You
Okay.
can tell by her battle stance there's a bit of discomfort as she shifts to her left leg, and then there's a bit of a body sway that sort of happens.
You said limp. I thought you said lint. Sorry. Continue on. Ignore me. I was like, how is that a freaking weakness? A
She
piece
needs
of
a
lint?
bath.
She's weak to Christmas.
There's lint
She
on her
stepped-
leg.
In the belly button.
Oops.
I will ready a counterattack on her action.
Okay, so if she attacks you, you're going to counter with an attack.
Correct.
All right, perfect.
In
Now, keep
particular,
mind-
I will ready my bite, which is my hungry jaws.
Okay, good call. Because one of the things I've learned that I didn't know previous to like a week ago or two is that when you ready an attack and you have extra attack feature, the way it's worded is you don't get your multiple attacks when you ready the attack. It's only on your turn. So if you attack on another person's turn, you only get one, no matter how many extra attacks. Like if you're a fighter and have 4, you get 1 for readying. Just some notes there. Okay, so you ready an attack, and you both sort of circle as you know, there's a little strafe, that careful walk that people do, that dance of waiting to see who moves first. Stanley, it's your turn. We're going to skip you. Oh, actually, Hope, if there's anything you want to do to break through the crowd, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to skip over.
I'll just roll another acrobatics here.
Okay.
Let's see. It's a 14.
Okay. Again, you try to push your way through, but then the lizard folk kind of knock some of them as you make your way through, and then they push you back out.
Okay.
They're like, "Be gone, Nat!"
All right. In that case, I'll start trying to walk around the circle of people, seeing if I can spot an opening or something.
Okay, very good. And then you go ahead and do that. Stanley?
So with it being my turn, does the spell just fizzle? It's just gone?
I'll give this one to you because it's our first round of combat, so if I won't make you recast it and lose the slot. So if you want to still hold it, that's fine.
I'll keep holding it.
All right. Nash?
I'll try to... Are we literally like in the middle of a bunch of lizards and there's nothing? They're just kind of surrounding us.
They're
and
all in
pushing
front
us?
of you. You're in the back side of the crowd, and you've tried to sneak your way through where Stanley did, and he was able to nimbly get through without bumping any lizard folk and make his way through, but you didn't have the same luck.
All right, I have an idea. I want to grab, I don't know, a wad of bat guano about this big. Just a little,
Gotcha.
just not a full handful, just like I don't know, like the size of a cherry or something.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take it, and I would like to throw it on the ground a little ways away from me, and then I want to point at it and go, "Ooh, what's that?" Like that, and see if I can't get people to like go and move out of the way and give me room to move. So maybe a little deception roll. I don't know.
Deception roll. Yeah.
Ooh, 19.
You take out a little cherry-sized piece of bat guano, throw it on the ground, and go, "Ooh, what's that?" really loud. Several lizard folk from the first row of from behind you turn around and go, "What? Look at what? Look!" And then they see what you're pointing. That is feces. He is pointing at feces.
Gross!
Yes, I think that is so.
Gross. But they're not gonna move for me or anything.
They don't move. They turn around. They look. They find it as feces, and they turn back around and
Shit.
continue walking.
All right.
One of them is just shaking their head like that.
All right. I just was trying to do a distraction.
You worked. It was a good distraction, but it didn't move them from where they were.
All right. Well, then that's the end of my turn.
One of them looks at you and says, "You should save that for your hearth."
Fine. I go over and pick it up and jam it into the rest of it.
Man, I'm so glad we put bat guano in this game.
Yeah.
All right. Varel, Zershul, again, you continue your dance, sort of circling one another, both parties waiting for the other to act. She looks at you and she says, "It is too bad that you had to make such a display. This couldn't have worked. But I suppose that this is fate. Tell me, before you expire, I want you to know your friends will suffer at my hands."
No, you didn't.
It is now your turn.
Okay, I have no idea what happened upstairs, right? Because I was facing Orp and got rocketed in the back.
That's right.
Okay.
She did say that your friends would be safe, but now that you've, you made quite a bit of a show that it seriously inspired people more than her, than she did. She's promising to kill them now instead. As you step on Orp's body, the flesh sort of presses in a little bit. It's not very solid ground.
Yeah.
Little fat ripples, sort of out as you step on the skin.
You guys, sorry, side note, remember that Futurama episode where Bender became a human and he was so fat that even when he was dead, if somebody pushed him or bumped him, he'd go, woo! And that was just like wind coming out of him. I'm picturing that for some reason. Sorry, go ahead. I love that episode.
All right. I'm trying to determine if one hit point Varel would lose his shit at the threatening of his family. And I think I would. So I'm gonna enter my rage, but I'm going to use that to run left. So just, give a little and enter the flame stance and then run. So bonus action there, movement onto her left and then throw the shield at her left leg and see if I can hit her with a ranged attack.
Okay, you want to hit her with the ranged as you run forward. So you don't want to get into polar melee range, which is 10 feet versus 5 feet.
Right.
Okay, so you move ahead maybe like 10 or 20 feet. All right.
Yeah, I'd say I'm definitely within the 15, 20-foot mark of her.
So you're moving left is just to make sure you can aim on the left side? Because you have a clear shot no matter where? Okay, perfect. Well, make your attack roll, please.
It's a 13.
Okay, let's see what that hits. It is a miss. You have 2 attacks, though, if you make the attack action.
Correct. So I will call back the shield and send it flying again. A 16.
Okay, this one hits. The called shot confers a -5 to the roll, but I'm not going to take that because I didn't tell you ahead of time about that.
Okay.
So it's not going to hit the weak spot. It hits her.
Gotcha. Okay. The 12, 15. Not a melee hit, though, while in rage, so 19 points of flame damage.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so the first, the shield comes out. It misses. It goes back to your hand, and you chuck it again as you run towards her. And this one, she isn't able to dodge or parry. She brings up very slowly the pole arm to try and knock it away, but it's somewhat ethereal, and as she hits it, it sort of slides through Tyrant's Bane and does nothing. And the shield just hits her in her chest and sweeps her off her feet as she falls down on her back, and her chest has this huge flaming gash in it that's smoking as well as bleeding. She falls down back on her butt, but gets up quickly. It doesn't actually knock her prone. This is more for flavor. It just sort of knocks her down. She quickly gets back up and resumes her position. You've done 19 points of damage to her. Okay, and so you haven't moved into range for her, so it hasn't triggered anything that she's up to. Hope, you see Vorel begin the attack from down below in the crowd.
Hope will curse to herself, and being in a different area with different lizard folk, she'll roll acrobatics again.
All right.
16.
Okay, this time you again you run down the side of the crowd a little bit and find an opening where there's a little bit less crowding, and you start making your way in there, careful not to touch anything, not rushing and moving slow, and you start to make your way in. Stanley, your turn.
All right. Is the spell gone?
Yeah, this time it would dissipate. Yeah.
All right. I am going to recast it or re-prepare it again if she takes any aggressive motion at the 3rd level.
Okay, perfect. Very good. Hold that, use that slot and just hold it. All right. Nash, your turn.
Can I see this too from where I am?
Yeah, you see everything. They're up on top of Orp's body. You're on the ground floor. Orp's body maybe stands 10 feet, like lying flat off the ground, his width, maybe 10 to 15. So they're up high on a stage of sorts.
And I would understand that if I tried to do anything magically to enhance his chances, that I'm breaking a very core thing. And
it lacks honor to interfere in 1v1 combat. I mean, what Stanley's doing is definitely dishonorable, but he doesn't care.
But that makes him dishonorable. Does it reflect on Varel, I guess, if I did something to him?
It does, yes.
Okay. Because I know how these people feel about dragons, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I'm sick of these a-holes that won't freaking make way and let me through there.
Okay.
And to be fair, transforming isn't taking part in the 1v1.
That's true.
That's true. There are things that you can do that wouldn't be considered interfering. And a good example would be bardic inspiration. It's not magic. It's just inspiring words that gives the person extra dice. So I would definitely rule that bardic inspiration, cheering on your team, your ally, be like, "Go Varel, you're awesome," and giving him the die is not interference.
How weird. That's what my healing word sounds like. I don't know why, but that's just what it sounds like.
The thing about healing word is that you're gonna say words and then his wounds are gonna close magically on him.
I know.
And, it's gonna be pretty clear, but yeah.
I'm kidding unless you were gonna let me get away with it. Then I was serious.
Well, I mean, you definitely could get away with doing it. It's just, Omnom. You gotta think about Omnom. What is he gonna say?
He's up in a tower. He's fine.
I mean,
well, what would Omnom do? That's what we do.
The thing is, if I can't intervene, the only thing is this is for show, and it will freak a bunch of them out, but it's not really going to contribute one way or the other.
You have learned that the gods of the Lizard of Razak Val that they worship are the 12, the Council of the 12, and these appear to be 12 dragons. And the stories they've told are dragons. They revere dragons. They also don't give you the impression that they've met any dragons. However, the Tyrant's Bane is allegedly made from the bone of a dragon. I think they think dragons are pretty cool, like Justin Bieber level cool.
Whoa, that's really cool.
So what do you think would happen if Justin Bieber showed up at Razak Val?
They would.
Would he challenge you to a fight?
I mean, because I have an idea. I have an idea of what to do. It's a huge expense to me personally to do this because I got exhaustion and other issues to deal with because of it. But I think
I could save my friend, but I'd be tired.
I'd be really tired.
I have to sleep a bit.
All right, I'm gonna do it.
When we're done.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go full dragon right now in the crowd.
Okay. All right. Your body begins convulsing as your limbs, like giant muscles, start pushing out, and your hands, the dragon hands, and whoosh!
Yeah.
You are now a large dragon.
All right.
That appears behind them, and one of the lizard folk goes, "What again? Oh!" And then he taps. He's tapping his friend. And he's, "Stop bothering me!" And the other lizard folk looks and goes. They lose everything they're holding. They just drop, and they get to the ground immediately, and they put their heads towards the ground and bow before you. And as more and more lizard folk begin to see the ruckus, you see more and more lizard folk turn and just immediately start bowing. This circle all around the field bows, and you look over the bowing lizard folk, and you see Stanley holding his spell, going like, "What now?" and hope you make it through easily now that everyone's bowed down, and when you bump them, they don't even move. They look towards the great dragon. So I'm going to skip over now. Well, it's back to Zershil. So you don't notice this yet, Varel, and she moves to strike back. Now that you've attempted to strike her and you've struck her, she starts to run over to you, and then out of the corner of her eye, she sees the dragon, and she makes her attack with disadvantage because she's distracted by the dragon. Okay. How's a 17?
Glancing?
What's your AC?
17.
It's a hit.
But he gets healed from my holding the spell,
Yep.
right?
So now the attacks come out, and we know there's a hit coming. Healing word is cast.
Hooray!
Now, fortunately, everyone's lost their shit looking at the dragon, so I'm pretty sure no one's gonna notice this.
You can thank me later, Stanley.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure no one gives a shit about your healing word spell. How much, except for Varel, who I assume is grateful.
That's 13 hit points back.
All right, your wounds begin to close magically. Now let me roll for this damage here.
Does 17 damage.
Wait, what is that?
What is what?
2 hands are used. Sorry, I gotta get the right dice. The dice differs on a polearm depending on how many hands. Ooh, shit. 11 points of damage.
What type? Piercing?
Piercing.
Okay. So 6.
You round down for damage.
Oh.
So
5?
10.5 would be 10. You just dropped a 5. Yeah, 10. Or 5. 5. Yeah. Okay, you take 5 points of damage, and then there's another swing coming in. Because she has multi-attack. This one's definitely a miss, though. So she swipes at you. Your wounds close. Just you have this like cut from the drop and bruising, and it sort of heals up. And just as it heals up, it gets recut. Uh-oh. I lost my headphones. Hang on.
Oh, no.
No.
I did a thrusting motion with my hands, and I hit my headphone wire, and the wire just went.
Wow.
Came out of the socket. You're cut a second time. And this time, as she sees the dragon, like as she's swiping at you, thrusting with her polearm, swinging with her polearm, and cutting, she looks to the right, sees the dragon, is sort of confused about what to do. So her strikes are just not have the full commitment of force as she's confused, and then her head begins shaking. And you think for a moment, Pharrell, you see. Well, can everyone have their headphones off except Pharrell, please? You see her eye, Varel, and you see something dark swim inside them on the right side and then on the left side. And now everyone can have their headphones turned back on.
Yeah, that's fast.
You're good.
Okay.
Varel, it's your turn.
A second Varel rose from a toilet and told him he needs his help.
All right. Well, I was going to do my bite for hit points, but I do not want to drink that particular specimen now.
Yeah, you readied an action, right? At some point as well? You had readied the bite.
Yeah, that was long ago, and that action be gone now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sure.
But that is shocking. So I will say, "You dare threaten my friends? My friends are great," and I will now switch over to non-lethal damage, kind of bring my elbow up and just try to like right there in the neck crick. And I'm like trying to knock her out because damn.
You're trying to knock her out with a so you're just it's an elbow to the neck.
Yeah, I want to like cut off some blood and I want to knock him out, and I'm going for head trauma too. Like, let's see.
Okay.
We haven't had an interaction yet where we've successfully had a
Non-lethal.
yes.
That's
No,
right.
not in general, like as a party. Like we've never solved this equation with the. We all got our headphones on, but you know.
You never solved the equation of Bramy?
No. Do you want me? The worm situation. We've never solved one.
Dolopopio.
We've never solved one without death.
Right.
So I'm going to attempt to make its home a living hell by battering the heck out of her head.
Okay, make your attack rolls.
Okay.
You can use your flame shield for non-lethal as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, any attack can be declared non-lethal, except for some magic spells, I believe.
Okay. Oh, 19, so a 27 for the first attack.
All right, that's definitely a hit.
And then I'll go and roll second attack, which is a 15.
Both hits.
Sweet.
Roll some damage, my friend.
These are melee hits, so I'm getting my rage bonus. We
Nice,
got
nice job with the clutch save there, Stanley.
11. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So 32 points of damage, 11 and 21.
Okay. All right. One. That's 4. So cumulative total of 51 points of damage. You bash her twice with the shield, right in the neck, and she staggers back both times. Falls to a knee. Her neck is bruised and flaming. She's still going.
All right,
So
I'll do a
Yeah.
do a flame burst
Okay.
for the auto 3 damage.
Yeah. You do 3 more additional damage to her. She's still up, but you sort of pummel her, so it's just kind of like a poof, and she steps back, and then you step forward, and poof, she steps back, and then you flame burst her, and she's and she looks at you, and headphones off, everyone, except for Varel. You see the worm. You see the worm move underneath the eyeball and sort of push out on both sides. These little worms sort of begin pushing out of her eyeballs and pushing the eyeballs out, and there's some sort of rage and squeezing going on there. Okay, everyone back on. Only Varel can see the things that I'm describing to him. That's why the mini headphones offish. All right, Stan Lee, it is your turn.
All right. I will use a bardic inspiration to cast Mantle of Inspiration. Eyes flash silver. I say, family beyond blood, and Varel is going to get 8 temporary hit points and can move up to his speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Sweet. I'll ride it.
All right, perfect.
So I'll kind of do after bashing her with the shield, slam, slam, I'll kind of ride it back in a spin and get it to that 15-foot range where I'm out of the polearm range again.
Okay, perfect. Great. Nice job, Stanley. Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it for this,
All right.
this go round.
Yeah, and that magic's pretty like doesn't have any visual effects to it, right? Everyone just
It
gets
uses
inspired.
my inspiration, so it doesn't really
But
specify.
it's not magic. It's bardic stuff. Again, this is in the flavor of like bardic. You're an inspiration, John or Stanley.
Thank you.
You inspire your teammate.
Kind
Hope. Sorry, it's your turn.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna scream up to Zershal, with the attempt to kind of split her attention, because now she's got a dragon. She's trying to get Pharrell, so I'll be screaming up there. We've killed your family. You're the only one left. Are you sure you want to be the last one dead?
Okay. That's. I guess it's provocation. It's intimidation, I believe.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna use the lucky coin. Coupon's lucky coin. And the one luck charge to roll an additional d20. Get that up to 13.
Okay. Right. And she looks. You cry these things out, taunting Zershil. She seems very much just in the middle of being having her ass kicked to really register some sort of visual cue to you. But you do get the sense that your words have been heard, even if you can't see that, because Varel's busy kicking her ass with, all right, Nash, your turn.
All right. I'm going to now rise up and fly and hover over the whole business.
Okay.
And I'd like to do that directly over the fight.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to move
So
there.
you begin. All right. So you just and you lift your body in the air with your wings, and you begin flying in the air. You can feel the entirety of the lizard folk that you've now forced into a bowing position their bodies sort of shake with both fear and excitement at your arrival. And you see sort of heads go up to look at you, and they're all fixated on you. All eyes that aren't your teammates or Zershil's are fixated upon you.
I want to
Anything else
say,
you wanna do?
yeah, I want to yell something. Can I do that? And I'll
You have to
do
do
it.
it in dragon voice now.
Yeah, no, I'll do it in dragon voice. I'll go. I'm gonna. You're gonna probably make me roll something. Hold on a second. Let me think about how hard I want to do that. All right.
I'm gonna have a blueberry while you think about that.
I'm gonna say,
That's a good idea.
"Cease this, lizard woman!" At the top of my Nash Dragard voice.
Is that Nash Dragard?
Nash Dragard, when I'm in dragon form. My
Oh,
last
because you're
name.
dragon form. I was thinking a different type of drag.
No.
That's only on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a weekend thing in Miami. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah, you have to roll for that, please.
Okay. Deception?
No, you're not deceiving them. You are a dragon.
What do you want me to roll for?
Performance.
Okay. That will be. I always forget if I have it. Oh, I have +4 to performance.
Or religion.
Performance or religion, you'll give me the choice.
Yeah.
I have higher on performance, so I'll use that.
It's up to you. The result will be different though, based on.
Oh my
whether
lord!
you-
A
Are you
natural
talking to them like what?
nat 20 plus plus performance 4, so 24.
You remember how last week Stanley's natural 20 didn't work?
Yeah. Yeah, are you saying
I
what
just,
are you
thought, I
saying?
just thought I'd bring that.
Yeah.
Because yes, as soon as you fly into the air and you tell them seize that woman, lizard folk begin looking at one another and they all begin springing into
Wait,
action.
I don't
and
say
charging
seize
over.
her. I said cease this, meaning stop the fight.
Oh, you're talking to the woman.
Yeah, I'm telling her.
Oh, I thought you said seize this
No, no,
woman.
no,
I'm
no.
like, you're commanding all the lizard folk to attack Zershil.
No, I meant cease this lizard woman, meaning
Oh yeah.
stop
Then your
this
20
fight. Yeah.
Your 20 fails. Yeah, she's in the middle of combat. That doesn't work.
Shit.
You can join Stanley in the 20s don't work club.
Welcome to the club.
Population.
I thought it
us.
meant something different. I was gonna give it to you. but
No,
now
it's
that you-
fine.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, I could
appreciate
tell you had
these
misheard it.
blueberries.
All right,
so-
I guess I'll just hang there. She's not gonna.
Well, you
respond.
yell, seize this. There's Hope yelling insults or taunts at her about her family being dead, and now you're saying, "Stop fighting, woman!" And Varel's just pounding the crap. Like you're yelling at her, and Varel's just pounding her 3 times. But okay. Zershil moves back. She hears the taunts, and she flips Tyrant's Bane in her hand, and desperate without any other options but to fight you or die, she steps forward and lunges with Tyrant's Bane in your direction. 16 plus 5 is 21 to hit.
A hit.
Oh my. All right. 7 points of piercing damage.
So 3.
3. And then here comes the roll number 2. How many hit points do you got left? I'm just curious.
9 hit points and 5 temporary, so 14
You
total.
got lots. Let's go nuts.
Natural
Then-
20.
It's another hit. 22. And 9. She takes her thing and she swings back and she's hitting at you at max range. Like think Oberyn versus the Mountain Tyrell. It's like it's hitting you at arm's length with it and stepping forward. As you step back, you're still getting cut. And the second time, cut again. So I don't know what the reduction of that is, but you take that as damage and it is your turn.
What was the total of damage there in the second hit?
The second hit was 9.
Okay,
So it'd be
cool.
4 for with your resistances.
All right. If she's poking me at afar, I'm gonna. Would I be able to grab the weapon, or
You
would that be
can-
difficult?
Well, now that it's your turn, she's not attacking you.
Okay.
You can ready an action to grapple her or grapple the weapon, which we would just be using her stats for the contest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
You can grab it.
yeah, I don't want one of those like who's mind controlled situations where I like grapple her and then the worms jump in my face.
Well,
and then...
you're within enough range that you could just walk up to her in range and grapple the weapon. You don't have to wait for her turn, actually. You could just grapple you can grapple the weapon, grapple her. Not a great weapon to have when you're grappled in terms of, it works good at range, not so much at QCQ.
Okay. I will
CQC.
once again close in for the double attack, saying, "Your gods are here, and you are infested."
Non-lethal?
Yep. Fight it or die. And I will slam my shield into her face with the business.
As
So
you do that, Nash is over top of you yelling, "Stop this woman!"
21 on the first attack and 13 on the second.
Roll the damage dice, please.
Just trying to do a fear of God thing. You know?
Yeah, but when someone's fighting for their life, that's the mode they're in until they're done, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
14?
14 for damage, sorry?
Yes.
Are these non-lethal?
This is the non-lethal part of it, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so an additional 14. Okay, she's still standing. Do you have the
Okay.
second attack?
The second attack miss, and I do a flame burst for 3.
Flame burst for 3.
She's still standing.
Okay, so you've done a total of 71 points of damage so far. And she is still standing. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Hope? Do you want to continue yelling insults at her?
Did Varel yell loudly enough that she's infested?
Yes, you heard that.
Okay. Hope will definitely know. Well, we'll assume that she's got worms in her in that point, and she's gonna go ahead and pull out. Well, how far away is?
She's up 10 feet. She's maybe out somewhere between 60 to 120.
60 to 120. Okay.
Estimated. We'll say 120. They're far up. They're still on a tall stage.
Yeah. Okay, so if I move up 10 feet, could I get that down to 110 with a clear shot?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'll pull out Scully, moving forward 10 feet.
Is that your long range or your short range? Because most weapons have 2 ranges, right?
It's a 40-foot, 120-foot.
So 120 means you roll at disadvantage because it's outside of the optimal range for a hit.
Which is
You can
40.
still make the attack. You're within range, but it's a disadvantage attack because it's a long range attack.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Let me just see which bullets here. I think I'll just do... explosive shells are so I won't do that. Let's just do obsidian nails. We'll just do a basic little thing. Alright, and then disadvantage. Cool, so with disadvantage, it'll fire with a 25.
Okay, that'll hit.
Cool.
Give me the damage dice, please.
Let's see, we got 2d8.
Obsidian nails also does some extra damage, doesn't it?
If they're made of wood, metal, or something else. So this
so
one shouldn't be doing any extra.
It won't do it doesn't have an applicable damage type.
Yeah. So the base would be 2d8 plus 6, so we're looking at 15 damage.
Okay. All right. I just need to look at something for a quick second, for flavor's sake. For flavor's sake.
And I'm shooting to kill, in case we needed to.
Lethal damage.
Hope does not know about the non-lethal tries that
All
Verle's
right.
been doing.
So one of the details of this magical bullet obsidian nail you're using, won't do the additional. So for every listener's benefit, an obsidian nail is a special bullet from her magical Smoky's ammunition belt.
Oh.
The ammunition is made with magical rock mined from the darkest hidden corners of the cosmos. If the target hit with an obsidian nail is a creature or object made of wood, metal, or rock, it deals an additional 2.8 weapon damage as piercing damage. Fair enough. That's not the case. An object or creature destroyed with an obsidian nail must succeed on a 16 Constitution save, otherwise it shatters into fine particulate.
Whoa.
So,
Whoa.
this is me making the save for Zershel.
Okay.
What's her con modifier? Okay, that is a natural one. You fire the bullet out. You see Varel fighting atop it. You get the hint that about something about, what did you say it was? Infestation?
Yeah.
You take your gun out, you load the obsidian nail, you take your shot. The bullet hits her in the head. And Varel, you see this, but it doesn't, as soon as it connects with the back of her head, whipping her forward, her body turns into stone immediately. Not stone, some sort of space mineral, something shiny, and just goes into a cloud of dust. And Varel, you just sort of stand there, not sure. You didn't see the shot. She just exploded into fine particulate in front of you. Combat is over.
It was the infestation.
Is it possible? Is it possible for Nash to have the look on his face like, oh man, why did I turn into a damn dragon? She's gonna shoot him with an obsidian nail. I'm gonna be exhausted later.
I demand treats for this.
Yeah.
The valley is silent. You're not sure who's witnessed this or not, but you do see lizard folk because of the noise that had happened. And they're looking up at Nash, who's flying above the situation. So when they do look up to dare to gaze upon Nash, the lizard folk have seen that you dishonorably dispatched Zershel into fine particulate.
Is the gunshot ringing across the valley here?
Oh yeah. But what's keeping them in place is the dragon. You hear nothing from them. They're frozen partially in terror, but you know that they've witnessed this.
So they know about the shot.
Yeah, it wasn't stealthy. It was a gunshot. Kaboom! And she exploded into a fine particulate.
Is there anything wormy left?
There's nothing.
Nothing.
A pile of dust is left on top of Orp's stomach.
My eyes of disbelief and shock will fall towards Hope.
All right, let's go to the break. Take a break.
Oh, that's a tense moment to break on.
Oh man. All right.
We'll be right back.
We are going to be right back, everybody. So don't go anywhere, or go pee, whatever. Do what you got to do. We'll be back, and we'll continue from there.